So that would mean things like a risk assessment, trying to practice social distancing where possible, and it is all laid out for them. So yeah, you can go ahead with the wake. I'm just going to check what happens if you go to tier 3, but my understanding is it's the same. There has been an exemption for funerals and for wakes. So as long as it's not in your home, then you can have it pretty much wherever you want.
Darren, I'm so sorry for your loss. How are you coping?
Struggling. We'll get there. Yeah, this isn't making it any easier by any stretch of the imagination. You know, it's very difficult. And I think from what you're saying about the venues, it's trying to find a venue that would accommodate you, if that makes sense. Although you possibly could do it, some of them are quite reluctant to do it, which just makes it even harder. So I was wondering, does it depend on the size of your dwelling, or is it, you know, is there anything anyone can do? Everything just seems to be up in the air, which is difficult times. We all know that.
But it's especially difficult for you. I mean, this is obviously the last thing you need at a time like this.
Yeah, and it seems one door opens, another door shuts, you know, and you just can't seem to get a definitive answer. I was wondering if House of Parliament would lend us their bar, maybe. Doesn't seem to be any restrictions there. But yeah, it's just some direction, you know, any, not loopholes, but any suggestions on a
something that works.
way.
You just want something that works.
Darren, there's nothing in the law that tells you where that bans you from having that wake in any building, as I say, other than a home. So you can tell the pub, say, or wherever you want to have it, that the law says there is an exemption for what the government calls a commemorative event following a person's death, and as long as there's not more than 15 people, and as long as the correct procedures which those venues should be carrying out anyway, then there's no reason you shouldn't be able to have a wake there.
Darren, all the best. It's very difficult. I hope that something that Ben said might be of use to you, but goodness knows you don't need that. Lisa has texted to say, can we go and see our mother and mother-in-law with our grown-up children, one of whom lives elsewhere, for lunch in our house? She's been with us for a weekend before and is in our bubble. That's, can we go and see our mother and mother-in-law with our grown-up children, one of whom lives elsewhere, for lunch in our house? She's been with us for a weekend before and is in our bubble.
All depends where she lives, Eddie. If she's in tier 1, then yes. If she's in tier 2, if she is part of if her mother is in Lisa's bubble, then they can still mix indoors, but they wouldn't then be able to mix with children from another household. It's only basically, you can mix within your bubble or your household, which today's law is the same thing, but you can't mix with others indoors. If you're in tier 2, you can meet with others outdoors. In tier 3, the support bubble still applies, but you can only meet with people in what they call public places like parks. You can't even meet outdoors in the garden.
Wendy has a question from Bromley. Hi Wendy, what do you want to ask?
Hello Eddie and hello Ben. Right, thank you for taking my call. We are due to collect a puppy next Tuesday. As you said, we live in Bromley, and the puppy is in Abergavenny in Wales. We're about to go into tier 2. Would that be allowed? We've paid the deposit and everything, we've visited before, etc. So it was just a case of picking him up at 7 weeks.
It's a tricky one, Wendy. We're still waiting to see the exact details of what exemptions are going to be in that ban from that Mark Drayton is introducing in Wales. Where do you live, Wendy? Sorry,
Bromley.
In Bromley, so you are tier 2, so you would fall under. It sounds like that Wales travel ban. There are going to be exemptions. It might be one of them. My instinct would be it may well not be, I'm afraid. But it's a bit tricky to say, because until we have that full list of exemptions from the Welsh government, and I'll have a look now to see if anything more I can find to help you, we don't really know who they are going to allow to enter Wales and who they are not. So I'll see if I can find out, but it's probably going to be a case of waiting until all that information is published, which should be in the next day or two.
Wendy, could the dog be brought to you?
I doubt it very much. There are 9 puppies in the litter, and the lady has 2 small children.
Right.
We can't collect any earlier than 7 weeks because of the welfare puppy. So it has to be Tuesday onwards. Things could get worse. So we wanted to go on the Tuesday. in case things get more severe. But yeah,
Well,
is there any way that we can get access to that information once it's released as well? Is that something that would be online?
Yeah, it'll be on the gov.wales website, Leslie, and I'll also try and tweet it out if I see anything. So I don't know if you're on Twitter, but I'll try and do it that way just to help you find it too.
All right, Wendy, and if the puppy needs training, we've still got Jade's number from earlier. She sounds great. All right, good luck, Wendy. Question here. We've been trying to get you stumped at Ben the whole program, and Stephen Hartley on Twitter says, can you ask Ben, if it takes a week to walk a fortnight, how many apples and a bunch of grapes?
Well, I think the answer to that is to test your eyesight.
6:45, Tim Humphrey has the headlines.
London is among areas of England facing tougher coronavirus restrictions from this weekend. Civic leaders in Greater Manchester have rejected putting the area into the very high-risk category. The First Minister of Wales is reported to be considering a circuit-break national lockdown. And the weather dry for many tonight, with frost possible in many areas, cloudier and less cold in the east, and a low of 3.
LBC Travel, I'm Dave Goff. The M26 eastbound stays closed because of accident investigation work between the M25 and junction 3 for the M20, so there are queues on the M25 back to Cluckett Lane services. Because of the M26 problems, there are also queues on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 5 for the M26 round to junction 3 for the M20. There are also queues on the M25 clockwise. It's down to one lane between junction 9 for Leatherhead and junction 10 for the A3 because of an accident. In Dulwich, the South Secondary Road is closed in both directions because a water main has burst between the Grove and College Road, so there are delays. And there are queues on the A13 heading out of town from the Canning Town flyover to Movers Lane in Barking, where one lane stays blocked. It's because a car has broken down.
Coming up at 7 on LBC, Ian Dale. On the news hour, more COVID restrictions announced across the country. We'll have the reaction, plus what's happening to the EU Free Trade Agreement, and Adam Kay. Ian Dale on LBC.
Calling all business owners. Need a website for your business? Then the only name you need to know is 123reg. With our new website builder starter tool, simply fill in a quick form and we'll create a site for you in less time than it takes to make a cup of tea. And it's just £1 a month. Terms and conditions apply. Register any domain like .co.uk for just 99p to get your one-page site online. Pricing excludes VAT at 20%. Times for making tea may vary, but you'll most likely have a brand new site before your kettle's boiled. 123reg is not responsible for how nice your cuppa is, although we will create a site for you in an instant. Visit 123-reg.co.uk for more information.
Lola should be saying a virtual hello to her new clients right now, but instead she's saying awkward. Why, Lola? Why set up a fancy new loft office if your Wi-Fi doesn't reach it? Never fear. With BT Complete Wi-Fi, you'll be back with a bing. Only BT guarantees reliable Wi-Fi in every room, or £100 back. Why choose anyone else? BT, beyond limits.
Up to 3 discs to guarantee 10 Mbps in every room or £100 of your next bill. Terms apply.
At Ring, we reinvented the doorbell. And now we're changing the way you look at whole home protection with Ring security cameras.
Wait, Ring does cameras too?
That's right, and they're so versatile, you can put them inside or outside, wherever you need them most.
Handy.
Ring cameras let you see, hear, and speak to anyone inside or outside your home. And you can control them all from the Ring app to keep you and your family connected and protected.
Now that is smart.
Ring. Smart security, made simple. Learn more at ring.com.
When you need to send money abroad, PagoFX is the international money transfer service that's with you when it matters. Backed by Santander, it's secure and simple to use, letting you make quick, low-cost payments. So if you're living or working away from home, or want to support those you love many miles away, PagoFX gives peace of mind that your money will arrive safely. Download the app or visit pagofx.com today. PagoFX, with you when it matters.